Welcome back to another episode of Lucid Daily, the number one spot for Lucid news and information on a daily basis. And today we do have quite a bit of things that we need to go through. Whenever I think there's not a lot of Lucid news, there actually is quite a bit of news that comes out. So today we have some good stuff. Let's go ahead and get started. First off, Lucid was up 4.3% today, down 1% in the after hours. Tesla was up 3.7% today, down almost 0.75% in the after hours. Rivian up 1.3% today and down 1.1% in the after hours. So first off, Reuters had an interview with PeterRawlinson today, and there's a couple of things that I want to talk about in this interview. One, it made a ton of headlines today, at least on Twitter it did, that, Lucid has to raise its prices of its already expensive car. But I would have been shocked if they hadn't had to have raised prices. I mean, Tesla has raised prices twice, at least twice within the last month. Rivian had this huge drama thing with their raised prices. So it was just natural that in this inflationary environment that we are living in, that things would have to be raised. So as PeterRawlinson said, huge inflationary pressures due to its huge inflationary pressures, the company was committed to honoring prices for existing reservation holders. I'll get to more of that in just a second. He said, I think it would be absolutely foolish for me to say we're never going to raise our prices. And I agree. I mean, this was at the SXSW interview, and I have not been able to find the actual clip of PeterRawlinson speaking. Hopefully we'll be able to get that clip soon. If you guys have seen it, please let me know down in the comments so that we can watch it together. Next, he talked about the exact kind of supply constraints that he has been experiencing over at Lucid. Now, these aren't really a surprise to us, but he kind of put a different perspective on it. And I do just want to remind everybody of one thing here in just a second. So he said, bottlenecks were caused by a handful of suppliers for windshield glass, carpeting, and some exterior trim parts. They're super frustrated because they're not gated by silicone chips and they're not gated by their ability to make electric motors. So the way I kind of interpreted that is the things like the core components of a car are not the problem. It's the luxury parts of the car that are kind of costing us time. And that's the cause of the bottlenecks when it comes to supply constraints. So I thought that was an interesting perspective. And he said switching to a different supplier would compromise the quality. Now, when their earnings call happened a couple of weeks ago, I said, if you are investing into Lucid, get used to the fact that they will always, at least as of right now, this is true, they will pick quality over quantity. So they would scale back production to make sure that those cars are perfect rather than have a huge number of cars and have them get recalled, have them have to do fit and finishes, whatever it may be. That's not a bad thing. It's a different approach than a lot of automakers that we have seen. So just remember, Lucid will always take quality over quantity. It's just important to remember that and to be patient with that if you're an investor. Next, this was just kind of made me just laugh a little bit. He took a little bit of a jab here at Rivian. He said, I think that's what it was ill-received in the market with Rivian. So above you can see where he says he wants to honor and keep their commitments to existing reservation holders. I thought that was funny. Everybody knows that what Rivian did was a mistake, and even Rivian's CEO himself came out and said that was one of the biggest mistakes that he has made as CEO. So it's something that we've all learned from Peter. Like, hopefully all these other companies learn from it not to raise reservation prices on your current reservation holders because they will not be happy. So let's continue. This is one of his quotes at the actual event. Again, if you have any sort of link to this event, please send it to me. I would love to watch it. He said, not all EVs are the same, and there is such a thing as a gas-guzzling EV. Efficiency is king. That's why the Lucid Air is the best efficiency at 4.6 miles per kilowatt hour. That's what PeterRawlinson said. He also said, this is a tech race. The key limit is for EV tech is efficiency. That's what will define the winners of this race. Now, we've heard from numerous reports, hardly anybody complains about the actual hardware of the vehicle. The hardware, even to meet Kevin's terms, he said this hardware belongs in a museum. That's an extremely high praise in my opinion. And everybody's just giving the actual car rave reviews. A couple of the things that I would like to see improve I personally drove the vehicle. I would love to see them continue to expand an infotainment system and continue to have their software become competitive to software of other electric vehicle companies. So again, that's what's beautiful about software is that you can continue to improve upon it and it can continue to get better. So that's something that I am excited for as an investor and as somebody that tries as hard as they can to stay up to date with Lucid stuff. Next, this was a very insightful tweet that came from March 16th, and it said it was a good thing that Lucid sold those senior notes at about $50 a share and has about $6 billion in cash. Lucid has locked in low rates. These low rate hikes should make Lucid an even more attractive investment. What I want to focus on is the fact that everybody, when Lucid had to raise capital and they offered those senior notes, everybody was up in arms. Twitter was going crazy, like, oh, Lucid's raising funds, like this is a disaster. But looking back now, they're trading for about half of what they raised their funds at. So it was a brilliant move, very, very well thought out by upper management. So I just wanted to point that out. Next, Meet Kevin in his video yesterday was saying that it's been like they were promised 30 days after the delivery. He said this in his video. 30 days after his delivery, they were expecting to have cruise control and they had not yet received it. But in the actual car that I drove, the driver actually has cruise control now. So he talks about it. You can even see it right here. I made sure to grab the screenshot where it said adaptive cruise control. And I probably should have put a screenshot of my comment, but I commented below and I said, so cruise control is active, and he said correct, like it works. So that was one of his first complaints, is that it didn't have it, but now it's been pushed out to him. So maybe maybe Kevin should tweet about it or something, that way they maybe can push an update to his vehicle, or he just hasn't been able to update it yet. Next, I don't know how often they're going to do this, but this gold color is only for Dream Edition. So it's interesting that they brought the Dream Edition to the show when they should be continuing to ship these out. I don't know if this is just like a special show Dream Edition, or if this is like a grand touring that they have made gold just for shows. I have no idea, but I thought that was interesting. Again, this SXSW show, I really want to, not the show, the event, I really want to watch PeterRawlinson speak. So hopefully I can get a link to that. But that is pretty much all I have. So if you guys enjoyed this video, consider subscribing. And if you want to see me personally drive a Lucid, check out the video that's going to pop up right here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And like always, see you next time. Thanks for watching.